wanted to talk about. There's been a few Latinos, there's been a few Mexicans, some Chicanos that have been complaining about the lack of inclusion in this grandiose hip-hop event, probably one of the biggest hip-hop events in the last decade that has taken place in Los Angeles. And they were complaining that they were not included.
And if I was that Hispanic that was there, that did take part, I all felt disrespected. Like, nigga, I was there. I represented. So what are you saying about that individual? You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's play a quick clip. We got a clip of Eyecon, who's been around LA for years. He's been a videographer. Wait. Don't play it yet. I just want to set it up. I met Eyecon about a decade ago. I know, Spider, you've worked with Eyecon before.
A couple of times.
And he's become a personality on No Jumper. And he's also part of this platform called the Food Community.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. So let's play this clip of him complaining about the lack of inclusion. Go ahead.
The Mexican people were underrepresented there last night.
I feel it. I can see that.
I can see that too, man, but...
And a lot of people are telling me that I sound like bitter or something. Like, I'm not a rapper, fool. I'm not tripping about not being on stage. I'm saying, like, Jeezy performed, I think, last night.
Yeah.
Did he?
That would have been nice if he would have been on stage.
If he would have.
Now, maybe the young legend had something to do, so he dipped.
Right. Because all the artists that did perform were up there.
Facts.
I respect it. Who was up there? I can't keep counting.
There was a lot of people that went, but I think Jeezy was the only
person that didn't pop out? Or were you going to say he's the only Mexican that performed?
Both.
Did he perform? Was he supposed to perform?
He did perform, yeah.
He did?
And I didn't see him perform because I caught it late.
I saw the clip.
I saw
I didn't even see that clip.
a picture of someone posting that he performed.
Do you think it had something to do with it being Juneteenth?
I don't understand.
Oh.
I thought Juneteenth was like on the 16th or something like that. It's on June 19th.
It was Juneteenth yesterday.
Yeah, it was Juneteenth. Facts.
I respect it.
Do you think that had something to do with it?
Had something to do with what? The fact that they threw the show that day? Or that there was no Mexicans on stage?
There you go. Do you think it was supposed to be like...
First of all, let me start off by saying congratulations to Kendrick Lamar and all of the wonderful individuals that performed last night.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's the end of the clip. Man, there's a few things there that's going on. One, I think Juneteenth has to be a holiday that is highly respected, highly acknowledged, and there should be no confusion on Juneteenth. Huh?
First of all,
What?
Ignorance is bliss. First of all. Second of all, Zoe Samba performed and he left. Okay? And then, like you said, Jeezy probably was busy. You know he got a relationship he extra devoted to and a child. You don't know what was on his agenda. I don't think he was I don't think the Hispanics was underrepresented, because I think he's a good artist. So him performing, he represented. So that's disrespect towards Jeezy to say he didn't represent for the Rasa. That's for one. And for two, when it's Hispanic type get ups, is the African American community underrepresented? So I don't know, man. Yeah.
Well, Spider, you've had a conversation with Eyecon very recently to express your discomfort for his statements about being not included in this black-dominated hip-hop event. And what was your response, or what did you say to him when you reached out to him?
Well, when I reached out to him, it was less of me telling him how I felt, and it was more of me inquiring as to why he felt the way he felt. And I invited him to be a guest on Factz Ova Feelingz, the podcast that's shot right here in the studio on StreetTV. And he declined to come. I told him, like, we were going back and forth on text messages. He was typing paragraphs explaining himself. Every time he would explain himself, I would just take another opportunity to invite him on the podcast. I would tell him things like, this conversation would be better for podcasts. Let's not waste it on text. But he was saying that he wasn't aware that it was Juneteenth Juneteenth, and he wasn't trying to be a weirdo. But one thing that really struck me that he used in our text conversation, he asked me, so Mexicans aren't entitled to be at June 16th? And in our exchange, of course, like everybody else, the first thing came to my mind was like, bro, do we get invited to Cinco de Mayo? What about the quinceañera? But I feel like it just blows me away, the sense of entitlement that I see coming from his statement.
Now, he told you in the text that he was unaware that this event was tied into Juneteenth, right? But the guy in the clip with Eyecon told him it was Juneteenth.
No, he wasn't aware of what Juneteenth represented.
But when he first mentioned Juneteenth, he tried to correct the date. So he was aware of Juneteenth to some degree when it first came up. He was like, oh, I thought that was the 19th.
The 16th.
Yeah, the 16th. So he had some concept of what Juneteenth represented as soon as he heard the word. But I don't, bigger than that, bro. There is nothing that Mexicans do. We drive by the parks every weekend, every day. We see them gathering. They throw lowrider shows. They have all type of functions that we are not represented at, and we never feel so emboldened or disrespected or left out to say, hey, why don't you invite us to your private or personal cultural parties? We don't feel that entitled to nobody else's situations.
Well, maybe this is an opportunity to probably say in the future, if we're going to improve on relations in LA County between black and browns, that maybe there should be an olive branch extended on both sides. I know that sounds probably or sounds unlikely, but at some point in this city, in this county, we got to get along for our kids and our grandkids. Well, we can't have people drawing guns on us because of I'm black and he's Mexican, or vice versa.
But I think all this came about because the public and the media is saying that Kendrick united LA, right? But everybody outside of California consider everything down Southern California is LA. You know what I'm saying? But he, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, LA is black and brown. So how are you uniting LA and wasn't nobody there to represent the brown?
Tupac, somebody who wasn't really from LA, that repped LA.
He wasn't from LA at all.
Yeah. But he repped it toward the end of his life. I've seen a lot of Hispanics quote him saying, Tupac told you wouldn't be LA without Mexicans.
No, blacks and Mexicans.
No, I just say Mexicans.
Yeah, that's the line. It wouldn't
the
be
line.
LA without Mexicans.
Right.
But he's not from LA. Not saying that we understand a LA that doesn't include Mexicans, but when we think of LA and our experience, we think of our intimate interactions. And a lot of times it doesn't include being connected with Mexicans. Even though we coexist in the same stores, same environments, we usually don't go to the same parties, bro.
I don't agree with that, bro. We take advantage of every Taco Tuesday.
Where
you know what I mean? What? El Torritos?
No, Mexican food, that's different, bro.
No, but it's Taco Tuesday though. So what that ring?
I'm talking about in our neighborhood. When we hear them they throw the party fiesta, boom, boom, the music. How many times are we at the door trying to get in and hang out and party?
Shit, I might go next door.
You could say that anecdotal situation, but don't miss the whole point. We talking about our culture and what's normal for our people to do. We allow them to have all the type of personal events that they can. We don't never try to impose our culture or want to participate more than we're invited.
Now, one of the biggest Mexican events that I'm aware of is Chicano Day in San Diego, where it's a lowrider thing. And I've been to it before, and it's not heavily attended by blacks. I don't know if it's an inclusion thing, or is it just the brothers in San Diego ain't really messing with it. You know, there's a few that pop up, but it is a huge, I don't think I've seen anything in LA that's as big as Chicano Day in San Diego. And being that San Diego is literally, you could walk to the border of Mexico, you know.
Right.
I think it's a bigger thing down there.
Hey, when we had these type of conversations, it sound like we got like some disdain towards like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a battle or anything. It's just something wrong with what he said though. You know what I'm saying?
Who?
Eyecon. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like it was underrepresented Or that's a knock at Ojeezy. You know what I mean? Ojeezy always the Hispanic amongst a gang of blacks, and as long as he there, they, you know what I'm saying, he representing. Like, you know what I'm saying? His presence is felt.
Well, I mean, it's crazy to me because really what this was a rap battle. These MCs battling, and this is Kendrick being caught up in a rap battle. To have all these ramifications come after a nigga just trying to murder an MC is crazy.
Oh shit! I don't know. Hey, I like. Be happy that it was a piece for a week. You know what I'm saying? You had people that came together, people on the stage that might oppose each other. You know what I'm saying? And shit, it could have been a Brown likely caught in a crossfire. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You know what I'm saying? So man,
How do you guys weigh out? Last week we was talking about a Chicano Latino saying they don't want their daughter messing with a black, and then this week it's a Latino saying they don't feel like they're being invited to the table now.
who would you prefer your daughter to be in a relationship with or have kids with? Prefer though.
I'm my own kind.
Okay, but you wouldn't oppose a Hispanic or
I don't, once I let people choose what I don't look at my children like my child as far as I am the leader of your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look at my experience. My mama my daddy ain't gonna tell me what I'm gonna do with my genitals. So how do I think I'm gonna force that upon another human being? That's just not my thing.
But I want to interject that because Eyecon declined your invitation to come on Factz Ova Feelingz, that's part of the problem. Because if you want to get invited to participate in something grandiose, it's got to start at the grassroots level. It's got to start with, okay, I'm going to come on Spider's podcast and we're going to chop it up about this topic. Bro don't want to come on.
This is someone that I've worked with before on multiple projects. We spent the whole part of multiple days together. Just so I don't understand why we couldn't come together and work together.
And let me also add this. I invited his wife, Negra, to come on StreetTV before. And he said he was going to make it happen, but I could tell by the tone it wasn't going to happen. But how many brothers have been on Indicted?
That's the title of his platform.
That's the title of his wife's platform. They have Freeway Ricky Ross on there.
What is it? How did she get that name?
Negra?
She did some time in jail, right?
She's in the. I mean, it's not uncommon that they use that name.
What does that indicate?
I mean, she a dark skinned Mexican.
So
probably out Salvadorian because most of them is more darker than the. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you that. Let me just add this. Eyecon, if you want to have a conversation about inclusion, then you should have gracefully accepted Spider's invitation to come on Factz Ova Feelingz. And also, if I asked you, I want to interview Negra, you should have gracefully accepted it. She's given interviews, but not on our platforms. So there is this divide even within platforms and going on them and providing interviews and sharing content and collaborating. Hey, if forget about Kendrick's event. We're not even sharing content and collaborating content on YouTube. You can see that there's this divide where you got black content creators, Mexican, Latino content creators, and there's a little bit of crossover. Let's get that crossover where it is stronger, and then we can talk about other things like, bigger events. But, hey, y'all ain't even collaborating on YouTube.